Hello everyone and good afternoon. I am Nikos Papatholios, editor at RailFreight.com, and you are watching RailFreight Fridays, our weekly 10 minutes news wrap-up. We're in week 12 and today we're going to discuss about the Eurasian supply chain in relation with some lockdowns imposed in China. As we already know, the Eurasian supply chain, the New Silk Road and of course sea transport as well are currently struggling due to the war in Ukraine. But the Chinese government's policy with stricter lockdowns in many Chinese cities are putting some extra pressure on the supply chain. For this purpose, today online with me is my colleague from RailFreight.cn, Huilin Shi. Hello, Huilin, and welcome.
Hello, Nikos.
Hi. So we're going to talk about China and some lockdowns taking place there currently. What is the situation currently? What cities are under lockdown or have been in lockdown?
So there is a new wave hitting China, almost all over China, except for several provinces. We're talking about thousands of confirmed COVID cases. This is nothing serious compared to other countries, but China has this zero tolerance policy, which means if once there is one case confirmed, the people in the whole region need to take tested, and follow-up will be a partial or complete lockdown of the city.
Okay. And do the lockdowns affect only cities or do they affect also terminals or ports?
The terminals and the ports are still operating, but the thing is, some of the warehouses has to be closed because of shortage of labor, and this also happens in terminal and port, and which means there are more delays than usual. For example, last year on May, there was a very important port called Yantian was facing a lockdown, and experts are saying there are more delays than even what happens in Suez crisis. So we can imagine how serious it can be.
This is quite big, yes. Is there like currently a backlog in transport? Are there containers stranded in terminals or ports, as you said?
Yeah, containers are now piled up in the major ports like Shanghai and Shenzhen, or Guangzhou or Qingdao. These are mainly used ports in China.
And there is some strict regulations regarding truck drivers in China also. Can you explain a bit more? How does this affect the Eurasian supply chain and maybe rail as well?
Because of the lockdown and the confirmed cases, there are extra checks on everybody who is entering the port or terminal. And China has such a big territory, which means if you want to transport cargo from cities in the middle part, you have to use trucks to go to the ports along the ocean. So now some ports requires the truck drivers to show their negative COVID results within 24 hours, which is almost impossible to be done because it takes maybe more than 24 hours to even drive the truck to the port.
All right. And I guess because the already existing disruptions, companies that choose multimodal routes are currently struggling because of these regulations, right?
Yeah, we have seen due to the situation in Ukraine, many companies are thinking about shifting their cargo back to sea shipping. But we can see sea shipping, the transit time of sea shipping doesn't really improve. And if you have to store your cargo there for more than 10 days, then why not take the rail?
Yes.
Because there is no constructions along the New Silk Road right now.
Yes, I understand. And apart from the delays currently taking place in the supply chain, there are also some concerns about the container rates because, as you mentioned, there is a backlog of containers. Containers are piling up in Chinese ports, and this could have a long-term impact on their prices. As we can see here in this graph provided by specialist company Container Exchange, the average price of 40-foot high-cube containers dropped around October, then dropped even more in December and stabilized during the following months, and saw a little decrease during February. However, this trend is most probably going to change because of the backlog of containers and the lack of capacity. prices are set to rise again. And of course, this is also related to the situation on the New Silk Road, because the capacity that was supposed to travel by trains is currently dropping dramatically. As a result, many companies, as you, Huilin, mentioned as well, are turning to sea, which is already quite busy, and this could have a detrimental effect in the long term. Of course, we can't have any premature outcomes yet or predictions, but this is how things could develop in the near future, in the coming months. And speaking about the New Silk Road, Huilin, just to wrap up this session, this weekly wrap-up, how are the things there? How are the things in the Middle Corridor or the other routes? Do we have any news?
As some of you might know, many companies decided to suspend their transport along the main road, which is via Russia and Belarus, and more attention shifted to Middle Corridor, which is via Kazakhstan and Trans-Caspian Sea, and all the way go to Turkey, take Turkey as the transit hub, and then go to other European countries. So now we have heard from some operators in China that this Middle Corridor is facing more congestions than ever before. Then they are saying actually the main road is operating very smoothly, even more smoothly than before. So the Middle Corridor is not ready yet, and we know that the capacity is only 3 to 5% compared to the main road. So they're asking people to give more time and space for its investment and improvement.
I mean, we already knew more or less that the Middle Corridor could not absorb all the capacity from the northern route, but it's important to note here that companies mentioned that the northern route is more or less operating sufficiently currently, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The transit time can be only like 14 days from China to Poland.
It seems that the decreased capacity makes the route more efficient currently. Okay, before you go, Huilin, I want just to ask a follow-up question regarding the lockdowns in China. Container Exchange reported also that there are some lockdowns on production sites and factories, and that the peak export season is approaching in China. This could also play a role in the delays. Is that true?
Yeah, it is true, but it's not all because of the COVID lockdowns. It's also they are cutting their energy consumptions. Many factories are operating in less frequency.
All right, all right. Okay, thank you very much, Huilin.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Now, before we close, as you already know, we discussed about the New Silk Road, we discussed about container rates and decreased capacities. And all of these discussions are going to be moved in an event that is taking place in a couple of weeks, less than 2 weeks from now, actually, on 6 April in Brussels. It's the RailFreight Summit Special Edition. We have mentioned the event before. It's the time for the industry to get together and discuss about the instability on the corridor, possible prognosis and possible solutions for the future. The program is already shaping up quite nicely. We have many speakers confirmed, so make sure that you sign in and you secure a place, physical or digital, to attend the event. Now, that was all for today. Thank you everyone for watching, and make sure that you are here for next week's show next Friday. Bye for now and have a nice weekend.